What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle, back for a bonus segment. Marc Lamont Hill on Black News Tonight, he asked his guest a question that I would say is regrettable in his career.
And if I were to say to you right now, Christopher, what do you like about being white? What would you say?
I don't know. Again, it's such an amorphous term. It's like a census term or a
But
crude
can you do me a favor? Indulge
term.
me. Indulge me for one. Just we're running out of time. Indulge me for a minute. I understand you see it as all these things, but you surely recognize that the world sees you as white. You know the world reads you as white. And if you were to ask me some things I like about being black, I could talk about cultural norms. I could talk about tradition. I could talk about the kind of commonalities I feel around the diaspora. If I were to ask you what, particularly if you're saying whiteness is a thing that is being constructed as negative and shouldn't be, name something positive that you like about being white.
Well, sure. I'll answer with a thing. There's a lot of documents that are floating around public schools that say things like timeliness, showing up on time, is a white supremacist value or a white value, white dominant value. Things like rationality, things like the Enlightenment, things like objectivity, and these are very strange things to be ascribed to a racial identity. My view is that these are actually should be ascribed to every individual human being. Every individual human being, regardless of whatever racial category we impose on them,
But
has
Christopher,
the capability of.
that doesn't answer the question, though. You're telling me you're making straw men about things that are ascribed to whiteness that you think are wrongfully ascribed to whiteness. I'm saying if whiteness isn't a negative thing, and there's something that you actually and that whiteness actually shouldn't be constructed as all negative, name something positive about being that you believe is positive about being white.
Again, I don't buy into the framework that the world can be reduced into these metaphysical categories of whiteness and blackness. I think that's wrong. I think we should look at people as individuals. I think we should celebrate different people's accomplishments. And again, I think the idea you mentioned Ignatieff. Ignatieff says the goal is to, quote, abolish the white race. In any other context, this would be interpreted as a near genocidal slur. I don't buy into it. The reason I'm not going to answer your question is I reject that categorization. I think of myself as an individual human being with my own capabilities. And I would hope that we could both judge each other as individuals and come to common values on that basis.
Fair enough. I would argue though that the ability to say I don't see race, I don't.
That was a regrettable moment. Wow. I really do think he's going to have I think Marc Lamont Hill is going to have nightmares about that moment. What do you like about being white? What do you like about your whiteness? They give you insight to their soul when they talk, when they ask questions. He got indignant. He got loud as if he were, you could see, he thought he had the moral high ground. I'm asking this guy, what does he like about whiteness? He's anti-critical race theory. I'm asking him a hard-hitting question. I got him stumbling. Mark, people don't talk like that. What? Bruh, go see a shrink. What is wrong with you? Could you imagine going up to your neighbor or just somebody off the street and say, you know what, Paul, what do you like about your whiteness? What are you talking about, man? What's he going to do next? Interview Steph Curry and ask him what does he like about his light-skinnedness? You sound like a damn idiot, Mark. Whatever has a stranglehold on you, free yourself from it because it has you looking like a damn clown, a damn fool, and you're getting loud and talking about straw men. There was no straw man there. And not even to bring up how disingenuous the question is. To go on a show, see, I can't go on these shows. I mean, obviously, he couldn't ask me the same question, but if you're going to ask me a question that's loaded to try to set me up, we're at war. Gloves off. Not to mean I'm not going to be cussing or swearing, but it will get contentious. He tried to ask him, and just even forget about that. The way you try to set somebody up to say something they like about whiteness, you could tell he was waiting for him to say it so I could post it on Twitter and it'll go viral. Look what Christopher Rufo said about whiteness. Not even considering that part of it. And that's evil. That part is really evil. I'm just talking about, do you think you're helping black people, Mark? Are you an advocate for black people doing this? This identitarianism is ugly. It's really ugly. And for them to have been able to poison the minds of us as black Americans, this is not getting ratioed. There are things I show on here that get ratioed, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can show the tweet, but it got ratioed, so probably most people didn't like it. This is not getting ratioed. This is getting supported. The retweets, likes, comments, just people like this. Y'all need to get you, if you think that's okay, you think that's a fair question, I'm not even joking. You need to go see some mental help. You need to see somebody who can help you. Something's not going on right up here. This is bizarre. The level that we're stooping to allow is just, I don't even know what's happening anymore. Every day I'm uploading something where I literally don't know what's happening. Am I in a dream or something? Every single day. What do you like about your whiteness? Mark, you and I both have dark skin and we aren't friends. And you asking questions like that, if you stand by that, we're enemies. Don't look at the color of the skin. Don't worry about what he likes about his whiteness. We have the same type of color skin, and we aren't brothers. We aren't the same. You are not on my team. We don't have the same goals. We don't see life the same way. Don't worry about his whiteness. We aren't all on the same page. It doesn't matter about color of skin. So Mark, do you wake up in the morning and say, God, I love that I'm brown? That's my identity. Let me go out in the world and tell everybody what I like about being brown. What? I'm going to end on this. I follow Leonidas Johnson on Twitter. He tweeted, I believe wholeheartedly in color blindness when it comes to racial identity. Not in the sense that I don't see color of our skin, but that I don't see it as an important part of who you are or who I am. If we truly want to heal America and move forward together, that's how. And I like that. And I replied, we will never get there if Black Americans don't embrace this concept. There are a lot of us playing into identity first. As long as that's where we are, or if we're silent about this, there's no way for this to turn around. And that was before Marc Lamont Hill. I saw the Marc Lamont Hill video. That's the response I have to Marc Lamont Hill. I am not into identity. But what's happened is many Black people have circled and cornered themselves off into identity. So you have no choice because you've put yourself, like you went into a room and you got all the Black people or the ones that agree with this stuff and they're in the corner. So there's no way to address them without addressing them as a group. So everyone who disagrees with Leonidas Johnson's tweet there is in a group. And what I'm saying is, if we don't get that group to embrace it, we will never come together. You're not going to get any non-Black person to get that group of identitarian Black Americans to remove themselves from this philosophy. It's highly unlikely that a non-Black person is going to break the identity group of Black people within Black people. So it's up to us. And that's why I have this YouTube channel. I'm not going to be silent about this anymore. This is sick stuff. It's disgusting. I'm just hoping that we can find a way to move forward in a colorblind and insightful manner. That type of stuff shouldn't be okay. That question should not be okay. Black people who self-identify in this group should not be okay with that. And until that changes, none of this is changing. Take care.